These playoffs have been incredible. Road teams, comebacks, Halliburton's 13-foot penis.
That was disrespectful what he did. What he did in the last few minutes of that game, yeah. I mean, he struggles to walk at times. It's crazy. Yeah, it's nuts.
Game 2 last night saw us smacking, beating 149 to 106. 149? My goodness.
I love it for Dallas on the field. George Pickens as a football player is fantastic. George Pickens as a human is he's a toddler.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, was about the Tigers. I was going to ask you, are they for real? 24-13, that's the second best record in all of baseball, best run differential in all of baseball.
Welcome to High Fiber Sports. Easy to digest because we're all full of shit. I guess it's a good idea for us to introduce ourselves again. I'm Brad. Right there, we've got one of my good friends from high school. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself there, bud?
What's up, boys? I'm Doug. Good to be here. We got a little bit of, we're all over the place. We're stretching down I-80 here.
Yeah, that's right. Council Bluffs up to Des Moines area because no one's going to know what the hell Adele is.
Especially when you say it wrong. I love it. Out to Denver. Matt's out there. What's up, buddy?
I'm out here in the Mile High City, Matt Cobold. I know I'm repping the Indiana gear. I'm from Indiana, but currently out here in Denver, Colorado. But happy to be here, fellas. Thank you, everyone, for coming out to the official first episode of High Fiber Sports. Brad, how are you feeling about that?
Oh, my God, Matt. Doug, I've been talking to you guys for years about this kind of stuff. So the ideas are aplenty. But we still don't know what the hell we're doing. Let's just see what happens. Let's just start talking about shit.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Now this is going to be a weekly podcast, weekly episodes here, daily shorts. And we're not just an NBA podcast. We're not just an NFL or fantasy football podcast. We're going to hit on a lot of sports here. But let's start, like we said, in the NBA with a little second round whip around here. Fellas, this was the first time in NBA postseason history that we saw all four road teams win Game 1 in the conference semis. This is giving me a March Madness vibe with the buzzer beaters, the 20-point comebacks. Any overall thoughts from you, Doug, before we get into the series talk?
Man, it's crazy. You said it right. These road teams. I loved Boston in Game 2. I had a weird feeling. I stayed away from the sports books, and midway through the second quarter, I thought it was what I expected, and we all know how it turned out, right? So, just crazy series so far. These comebacks are nuts.
I agree with it. Yeah. I actually got in on the Celtics in the second quarter. I actually put a little ticket on them and lost that. Brad, yeah. Brad, any overall thoughts before we talk about the series, Brad?
Oh, just in general, over the years, I've heard it a million times, and everyone says the NBA sucks. It's all a few teams, it's all hero ball, it's all this and all that. I was like, no defense, nothing like. It's like, you're not watching. You're just saying that because it's been a narrative for years. These playoffs have been incredible.
Oof.
I mean, road teams, comebacks, Halliburton's 13-foot penis. Like, all of them.
They're
just, yeah. I mean,
England.
Flaccid.
Yeah. And the defense, too, has been, I was thinking about that last night, because that's the narrative, right? This defense, I mean, the defense is so good, or it has been so good in these playoffs that it almost looks sloppy on the offensive side. Like, because it's just so tough. I mean, they're playing so hard. It's wild to see.
Well, the Giants are athletic now. That's the change from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, I mean, think about it, Matt, from when we were young. Granted, I'm older than you, so don't even go there. But, like when we were young, these guys that were almost 7 foot were, Sean Bradley can barely tie his own freaking shoes. He was in the NBA. The hell?
He couldn't dribble and chew gum at the same time.
No, the talent level, the athleticism and the size, and it's science, evolution, all the things. And there's these people that are like basically trained to do this since they were kids instead of like smoking a pack in the locker room at halftime.
Yeah, the big guys just used to take up space. I mean, that's what they were there to do: take up the lane and get the high percentage shots. But now these guys are spotting up from outside the arc. They're taking off from the free throw line, like was so crazy that MJ did it back in the day, and these guys are doing it no problem. I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah, everybody needs to be able to pass, dribble, and shoot these days, no doubt about it. Let's get into these 4 series, fellas, and why not? Let's start with the Indiana Pacers, Cleveland Cavaliers, the 1-4 matchup in the East. It's a 2-0 blow. Pacers got both games in Cleveland. Game 1 was 121-112. Game 2, of course, was the Halliburton buzzer beater, 120-119. We talked about this series last week. Of course, I couldn't pick against my Pacers. Brad, you threw out some blasphemous shit. You had the Cavs in a gentleman's sweep. Oh my goodness, the disrespect for your guy Tyrese Halliburton. How are you feeling now? The series is shifting back to shifting for the first time to Indianapolis tomorrow night, Friday. Pacers up 2-0.
Listen, Matt, I do this life philosophy where I'm a pessimist, then I'm pleasantly surprised when I'm wrong. Like, I told you I did say that, but I also made the caveat that I wanted Halliburton to win.
You did.
Like, I mean, not obviously they're my team, but like I did low-key root for the Pacers multiple times in my life. Fred Hoiberg, Jamal Tinsley, hello.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hello.
Go
now
play.
Halliburton? Yeah, you think I'm not rooting for that shit? Fuck you.
You only get one game.
Yeah, okay, I know. And, going back, I did kind of look into more, and I've been just watching all the games. And sure, the win streaks of the Cavs were great, but since, like, the All-Star break, really the Cavs and Pacers records aren't that far off.
Yeah.
The Pacers just don't get talked about. And, like, I guess for me, it gets talked about a lot because, I have a lot of Iowa State friends, so it gets brought up. Watching them, I didn't get to watch them last round because they're blacked out because, it's just a quick 7-hour drive to Milwaukee, but when it's in Indiana, like, fuck. That really hurts the product. They need to fix that because then maybe a lot of us would know more about these games and how they play.
That's true with a lot of sports, these blackouts. Like what I'm in the middle of a cornfield. What do you consider? How am I literally here without a team? The teams that I want to watch, like you're saying I'm in market. And we pay money for that. It's insane. I agree. The product suffers in all sports because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, would you credit this 2-0 Pacers lead to how the Pacers are playing and Halliburton's big game heroics, or more so the Cleveland injuries? Darius Garland's out. Evan Mobley was out last game. DeAndre Hunter. So are you crediting more to the Pacers or the Cavs injuries?
Everybody talks about these injuries, which is fine. It's fair. And it happens to basketball teams all the time. But, and I watch your guys' conversation about, Brad talking about how disrespected the Cavaliers are. The disrespecting came from Tyrese Halliburton. That was disrespectful what he did. What he did in the last few minutes of that game, yeah. I mean, he struggles to walk at times. It's crazy. Yeah, it's nuts.
It is nuts. Pun intended.
The Cavaliers have those injuries, but dude, Tyrese, those last few minutes, he just went beast mode. I mean, I'm sure it's a little bit of both. I don't want to cop out and like say it's a combination of the two, but Halliburton, you can't deny him those last couple minutes. He took over, and he just did what he had to do.
Yeah. Big-time player making big-time plays. Brad, are you still going to hang with your Cavs getting this series, or are you going to flip to the Pacers?
Pacers in 4. Totally flipping the other way.
Sweet.
Well, the injuries, too. I didn't even bring that up when I was rebutting myself earlier, but yeah, the injuries, too. Like, I couldn't have seen that coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I doubt, you think they probably get one game if they're healthy.
Yeah. Doug, do you see this series going back to Cleveland? Do you give the Cavs any chance here?
I don't know, man. You gotta like the Pacers right now. I might go with Brad. I could see it being 4-0.
Fuck yeah. I like to hear it.
Yeah, you like that,
yeah.
Yeah. Matt's like, hold on, can you turn it up real quick? What was that? Get closer to the mic when you say it.
I'm going to replay that for sure. Go Pacers,
say it slow.
Back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals appearances. I think we're going to see it. I think we're gonna see.
That'd be cool. And as someone been Iowa State fan his whole life, we never get any rep in anything. But all of a sudden, it's happening all over the place. It's great. It's Christmas. Yeah. All sports.
Moving into the other semifinal series in the East, Boston, New York, a juicy matchup. You know, we got the defending champ Celtics. The Knicks, they went all in on this season. All the first-round picks they traded, they go get Big Cat. All the money they threw out, they went all in this season. And damn it, they pulled off 2 upsets on the road. Game 1. The Knicks got them 108-105. Game 2, 91-90. We talk about that defense. 91-90. That's a good old school game. The Celtics are the first team to blow 20-point leads in consecutive playoff games since 1998. And the Knicks have had 6 straight playoff games decided by 3 points or fewer. That's an NBA postseason record. Doug, how you feeling about this Knicks-Celtics series heading to New York?
I mean, those leads are inexcusable for Boston. I mean, it's so crazy how they were just controlling both games. I think the Celtics are going to get back into this. It's just me. I mean, I know Porzingis was off the floor. Boston's just, I mean, they're the champions for a reason, right? I mean, Tatum's incredible. I thought he was going to will them back, honestly. But I think they'll go back to New York, and I think they're going to get at least one.
Yeah, I got to agree with that, Doug. At least one. Brad, can the Celtics come back in this series down 2-0?
Oh, yeah. This is one where, I don't see the skies falling as much, just like, everything Doug said. The talent level there is just, it's so great, but I will say I'm a little bit worried with the news on Porzingis. They're saying it's like he's been dealing with effects from this illness all year. He's seen like specialists, whatever. So if he can't go and they can't hit threes, you could see a sweep the other way because they're going to New York. And imagine New York, their hunger right now. What, 30 years or whatever? I don't know. I'm terrible with, carry the 7, whatever. Long time since they've won the NBA championship. Like, that city is, like, considered the basketball mecca, too. So you add that on top of there, like, come on. I could see the vibes alone in the Garden. Lifting them up on top of, Porzingis maybe not really playing, and they seem to be cold. I could see Boston winning 6-2 in the series as well, because they're that talented. If you're asking my prediction, we'll go somewhere in the middle. I think probably Knicks in 6.
Knicks in 6.
Right now. Vibes can change, though.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a lot looms on Kristaps Porzingis. I don't know what's going on with that illness. Drew Holiday's been a little banged up. Doug, you going Knicks in 6? You going Celtics? How you feeling?
2-0 is tough, especially going back. Now they're playing on the road. I don't know what the series is going to turn out. I think New York, with the edge they have early and going back home, I think that they're going to have a huge advantage if they do get out of New York. Maybe they won't, but if they do, I think they're gonna be real close.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the one to go the other way here, boys. Boston got that championship pedigree. I think they're deeper. The 20-point leads. My goodness, they had something going right. I think they locked in. They tied their shoelaces a little bit tighter. I'm gonna say Celtics in 7. They come back here. Pussycat Towns meowing and licking his paws too much for me. Let's move out to the West. We got a hot one here in the Mile High City. Oklahoma City, Denver tied up 1-1. Game 1, we saw Aaron Gordon, game winner. My goodness, pulled up for 3, 121-119 in that game. Nikola Jokic, the best player in the world, became just the 4th player in NBA postseason history to record at least 40 points, 20 rebounds, and 5 assists. He had 42 points, 22 boards, and 6 assists in that game. Game 2 last night saw us smacking, beating 149-106. 149? My goodness. The Thunder scored 87 points in the first half. That's the most points in any half in NBA playoff history. And the Thunder are the first team ever with multiple 40-point wins in a single postseason. Brad, the series is coming out here to the Mile High City tomorrow night, tied 1-1. Thunder Nuggets, how you feeling?
This is one where, I think that first game loss slapped Oklahoma City in the face, and no one's going to beat them anymore. Honestly, I don't think Denver has a chance. I think this one... 5 or 6 games, even no, it's 1-1 right now. Oklahoma City's so deep, so talented, so tall, so everything, so young. And they were the 1 seed last year. This is what happens. This is a natural progression of things.
You're right.
You know? Dude, I love the storylines in Denver, though. I love Joker. He's just freaking incredible to watch. Like,
Yeah. How can you not root for him?
Yeah, no, I do. And the resurgence of Westbrook and how he's been playing off the bench. Like, I love that story. And Aaron Gordon has an 11-foot cock, not quite 13 like Tyrese. But, you know, it's big. You can still jump rope with it, you know. Yeah, measure ceiling height, everything. But, like, yeah, he's, like, 2 of the best enders of the playoffs belong to him. And one of them was, like, one you're probably never going to see again in your lifetime. Tip, miss, three-pointer, dunk to win. Yeah, come on. So, my prediction, I'm going to go 6 games.
6 games for the Thunder.
Yeah, 6 games for the Thunder. I think Joker and that team are good enough to pull it to that far, but, God, do I want this to go 7 more than anything.
Yeah, I'm with you right there. You mentioned Russell Westbrook. I think a cool storyline. He's back in Oklahoma City. You know, he won an MVP there. Doug, Nuggets, Thunder, where are you going here?
Man, the Thunder look really good in Game 2. I had to shut that off. I couldn't do it. I got kids around. We can't be watching this on national television. I do.
Well, no, I mean, if you beat them, then it just seems normalized.
Yeah,
and just like what they're seeing on TV.
Again, they're young minds. We got them on the right way.
That's right.
But I like the Nuggets. I love Joker, and with you, Brad, I think I am rooting for the Nuggets in that series. But man, the Thunder are so good. I agree with Brad. It could be 6 games, and maybe it's 7 if they stretch it. But I think the Thunder takes it. They're so good. I mean, it's just, and when Joker's not on the floor, you can just tell. Like it's so bad. But if people want to talk about him being the MVP, he's gonna have to. He's already doing. I mean, he's already incredible, but what else can he do? But exactly. They have to ride him.
Exactly, yeah. How much more can he do? I'm not sure. Definitely the top 2 MVPs are in this series. The Nuggets feel like they're slugging away right now. I went to Game 7, and yeah, that was a good win over the Clippers, but last night was bad. Last night was embarrassing. The Thunder, like you guys are saying, they're so deep. They're so well coached. I got to go Thunder with you guys in 7, though. I'll give the Nuggets winning 3. I'll say 7-game series there.
A sweet little like humble brag there. Yeah, it's just at Game 7, snorting lines of caviar.
Electric in there. It was electric.
Yeah, rub it in. All right.
Oxygen levels were low.
Oxygen
levels were low.
I was probably watching on my phone, taking a dump in the bathroom. So.
The last series we got to talk about here in the NBA Conference Semis, Minnesota Golden State. We've only played 1 game. We got Game 2 going on right now. Live update, Minnesota up by 17 in the second quarter. But it's 1-0 Warriors. They got Game 1, 99-88. Good defense there. Big storyline here, Brad. Stephen Curry, he's going to be out at least a week after tweaking that hamstring. Only played 13 minutes in Game 1.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Golden State can get another game?
No. I don't. I really don't. I know I seem like, I see a couple games, I think the series is over, but like, after what I saw, like what Minnesota did to LA in the first round, and I truly think Ant Edwards is the next dude. Unless Luka Doncic decides to work out in the offseason. But other than that, I would have to say, like Ant is the freaking man, dude. He is unbelievable. And then the fact that he made more threes this year than Steph Curry did. That's wild.
Crazy.
And, like, don't get me wrong. It's the same, like I said, I could see the exception to the rule here because playoff Jimmy's a real thing. I'm a Miami Heat fan. Mm-hmm. He took 2 teams to the NBA Finals that had no business being there.
Impressive.
So could playoff Jimmy come out? Sure. But, nah. I think Minnesota in 5.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm right there with you. Minnesota in 5 for me. Anthony Edwards, I'm also with you. He's the real deal. I'll also throw Wemby in that future face of the league conversation. I'm also with you. If Luka wants to wants to get in shape and stop wearing a training bra because his titties are bouncing up and down when he runs up and down the floor.
Yeah.
Doug, how do you feel? How do you feel about this Warriors Minnesota series? Are you giving the Warriors another game?
I don't think so. I don't. I love Ant. He's incredible to watch. You know, I enjoyed watching him last year, and then this series just. I like the Wolves. They're scrappy. I love them.
We mentioned Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The top 2 MVP candidates are in that Nuggets Thunder series. I just want to talk about that discussion real quick because I feel like it's wrapped up. I feel like the MVP might be wrapped up, but we just got to talk about these numbers real quick. Nikola Jokic, the best player in the world, this season averaged a career high 29.6 points. That was third in the NBA. He averaged 12.7 rebounds. That was third in the NBA. Averaged a career high 10.2 assists. That was second in the NBA. 7-foot center, second in the NBA in assists. And 1.8 steals per game. That was also second in the NBA. Yes, SGA. He led the league in scoring, 32.7 a game. But only 5 boards, 6.5 assists. Those numbers don't compare. Yes, 68 wins. Hats off to Thunder. Best player on the best team, I understand. Brad, the MVP debate, are you okay with it going to SGA? Are you going to argue for Jokic?
There's no point arguing. Like you said, it's a done deal. It's SGA. MVP fatigue has been going on in the NBA since I've been alive. Because you're telling me LeBron doesn't have more MVP. What's he got? 4? 3?
I think 4, yeah.
4? Yeah. He hasn't been the best player in the league 4 years. He's been in the league since 1491, I think.
2003.
And
1,000 years old.
Yeah. But, like, he's, like, 4? No.
4 MVP.
3. Yeah. Like, come on. No, it's not that way. It's people get tired of the same person winning it every time, even if they are. Because is he the most athletic? Of course not.
Oh.
But he's the best all around everything. If you put every single stat together, sure, defense isn't great, but he does get steals a lot. He knows, and just his stats are just insane. SGA, yes. It's harder when he's on such a stacked team too. But he is scoring a shit ton of points. So I mean, I get the argument, but I still think Jokic is the best player and definitely the most valuable when you stack up the rosters. You know, as far as young talent, Denver's got good players, but young talent and depth of talent is all over in OKC.
Nuggets, they fired their coach and GM, still making this run in the second round. That's on the back of Jokic. Top 3 in scoring, rebound, assists, and steals. Doug, are you okay with the MVP going to SGA, or do you feel like it should go to Jokic?
Like I said, I'm a big Joker fan. I don't know what's he 33 triple double, something like that. Averages a triple double. The stat that I like too, we talked earlier about these athletic big guys. I mean, he's shooting over 40% from 3-point. I mean, the guy's just insane. I'm sure it will go to SGA. For me, Joker does it for the Nuggets. When he's not on the floor, I mean, I touched on it a second ago. Joker's just a man among boys, and it's just sometimes it's so effortless what he does. He's just always around the ball. I like Joker for MVP, my opinion, but. Yeah, I mean, can't argue with the Thunder's results and what SGA's done this year.
Let's move into some NFL as promised, fellas. We had a big trade. Woke up yesterday. George Pickens, wide receiver from the Pittsburgh Steelers, going to the Cowboys along with the 2027 6th-round pick. The Steelers, in return, receive a 2026 third and a 2027 fifth. George Pickens, I feel like I'm a little bit higher on him than the average community out there. He just turned 24 years old in March. This guy's still young. 2 seasons ago, he led the league with 18.1 yards per reception. He's been over 800 yards all 3 seasons, topping out at 1,142. Only 12 touchdowns in 48 career games. He could get in the end zone a little bit more. I see that happening in Dallas. Doug, who won this George Pickens trade? And is CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens the best wide receiver duo in the NFL?
I love it for Dallas on the field. George Pickens as a football player is fantastic. George Pickens as a human is he's a toddler. He's a middle schooler. You gotta you weigh it, right. Like, what do you hope you get the top line guy that you need on the team behind CeeDee Lamb, but But Pittsburgh, I mean, what they get, they got a day 2 draft pick. I mean, it's they still got some value from that trade, and they got. I kind of felt like Tomlin was just over it. Like he made his comments about growing up and all this kind of stuff. I think he's just done with it. In Pittsburgh, as we know, they run an old school offense. They run the ball a lot. They're just ground and pound kind of team. We'll see what happens with their quarterback situation. But Dallas, George could go off in Dallas. But what are you going to get off the field? I don't know. Like you get flags every 4 seconds for unsportsmanlike and things like that. So we'll see. I like it for Dallas, and I think both teams kind of won out.
Brad, are you feeling similar there? And what about CD and Pickens? Best duo in the NFL?
Yeah, I'm going to echo a lot of the sentiments that Dave, my dog.
Who we got here tonight?
Yeah. What's that?
Who do we have with us tonight?
Yeah. Hey, Dave, he's actually rubbing his balls on where his balls used to be on the carpet right now. So, Mad Dog. Yeah. I agree with pretty much everything Doug said. Like, I mean, think about it. So, coming out of the draft, his first-round talent drops because of attitude, whatever, off-field stuff. He goes to Pittsburgh, has the number 1 talent. They have no quarterback. He's still throwing up these ungodly numbers. They still don't want to keep him.
No.
Like, this happened twice now. So, yeah. But the thing is, in Dallas, you're allowed to be a diva. You're celebrated, So it might be a perfect spot for him. And, we'll see. The talent's there, obviously, as far as that being the best 1-2 punch. What happens when he's not the only option? Pickens. Like, what happens? Because Lamb's still going to be the target monster. He's still the best receiver.
No doubt.
So, if he can pull his head out of his ass and swallow his pride and ego, oh my God. Oh, look out. Yeah. Hell yeah. Of course, that'd be great. But I'm going to go TBD on that one. We don't know. You know? But I think year 1, he's probably going to do pretty well just to, make a point, prove himself. Otherwise, he's going to be just like all the other flash in the pan wide receivers. Pittsburgh can always draft him, but they always seem to have attitude problems and they get rid of them.
Yeah. So,
Claypool, Smith-Schuster, this is 3 now. Brown, I think he's in an asylum at this point. Or should be.
The Steelers.
I think Pickens only has 1 year left on his deal, right? I mean, it's pretty cheap, $3 million, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's really what it is. It's a 1-year rental, see if it works, and then we give him a contract if it does.
The Steelers, they've been good at calling their shot at getting rid of wide receivers before they queef out. Antonio Brown, like you said, became a head case after he left there. Chase Claypool, they swindled the Bears. They swindled the Bears on Claypool. That's my guy from Notre Dame, but my goodness. And Deontay Johnson, another name. Deontay Johnson has been bouncing around teams since leaving Pittsburgh. But I'm feeling like I'm more on the Dallas side here because they're getting this talent. They can figure it out with them. Dak Prescott, over the last 2 seasons, is number 1 in most attempts and most passing yards on 15-plus yard go routes. Why does that matter? Because George Pickens, over the last 2 seasons, is number 1 in receiving yards on 15-plus yard go routes and 2nd in receptions on 15-plus yard go routes. So it might be a match made in heaven. CD's the target monster, but Pickens is opening up the field, down the field, and I'm excited to see it. Any other thoughts, Doug, on this move?
No, we'll see what happens. I mean, Dak got that huge contract, and now he'll have the weapons, so he can sling it, and we'll see how it turns out for Dallas. But Pittsburgh, Tomlin's been around for 4,000 years, and he's going to keep drafting guys and developing guys, and they're going to win 7 to 10 games no matter what, and they're going to be in some sort of divisional hunt, and it's all going to work out for them. It's just what's George going to do?
Well, yeah, as long as Pickens doesn't shoot himself, he's not the dumbest Pittsburgh wide receiver ever, so.
We got more big news this week in the NFL. The Baltimore Ravens have released 7-time Pro Bowler Justin Tucker in what they have called a football decision. Tucker has been accused by 16 Baltimore area massage therapists of inappropriate behavior. The 35-year-old is the most accurate kicker in NFL history at 89.1%. The NFL has an ongoing investigation running while Justin Tucker denies all the allegations. Brad, what do you think about kicker Justin Tucker and these allegations?
Well, I mean, I think the next step is pretty obvious. He shall now be referred to as Justin Tucker. That is like the most obvious nickname that has ever been made ever. But like, why? Why? Professional athlete, why are you forcing massage therapists to tug on your wang? I don't get it.
Yeah. Doug,
Thoughts, Doug? You fan of tugging wangs?
You know what's
I'm in a zone. Come on.
Yeah. The first thing I thought of when all this was coming out and we figured out who Justin Tucker was, there was that scene in Kansas City where they were messing with him, Kelsey and Mahomes. That they were kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if they kicked his helmet or kicked the ball away or something. And I was just like, dude, why you gotta be such a douche? But now I'm like, I was so wrong for defending Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I don't know.
They should have jerked off on his spot where he was trying to warm up.
Yeah.
Like, how do you like it?
I don't know. I think we can stop calling it a football decision. It is what it is. Everybody's okay with it. We don't need to. It was kind of weird. Brad, I think I talked to you when this was going on, and literally the headline I saw, this was right after he got released, and I was like, no way he got released. And I checked it, and there's just all these articles like, we're going to make a football decision. I mean, no, you didn't. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You can just get rid. That's okay to get rid of stuff. I mean, you don't want to deal with it. It's all good. So
it was a football decision to cut the best kicker of all time. It was football.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's get
that not a good year, but maybe he wasn't getting any more tuggy, so it wasn't loose enough.
Yeah. That's what credited his accuracy.
Yeah. So he can't kick without tuggies.
Justin Tucker, he embarrassed himself, his family, and I think he's done. Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's done. He's done.
Let's finish up this week's episode of High Fiber Sports with some baseball talk. Brad and I, we play fantasy, throw down some parlays, but our guy Doug, he's going to be one of our baseball experts, the MLB. We each, Brad, I believe, have 3 questions for Doug. I'm going to throw one out first. I want to talk briefly about the Los Angeles Dodgers. The defending champions are currently 25-12. That's the best record in all of baseball. Doug, can the Dodgers and my guy Shohei Ohtani repeat?
Yeah, I think they can. Their payroll is ginormous. $10 trillion gazillion dollars in my Dr. Evil voice.
Almost the size of Tyrese Halliburton's penis.
Almost. It's long. Yeah.
Close.
But here's the deal. They're missing some people. Ohtani obviously is doing Ohtani things, but they went out and got some of these pitchers, Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki from Japan, who's doing great, by the way. Snell's on the injured list. Ohtani hasn't even thrown a baseball, and he's going to come back in a couple of months. Clayton Kershaw just threw 6 hitless innings in the minors coming back from injury. I mean, these guys don't even have the rotation that they planned on having, and their lineup is crazy. Teoscar Hernandez is leading in several offensive categories, like one of the greatest signings. I saw him come out of Seattle, and I thought he was going to be a steal, and the Dodgers took a chance on him, and he's coming through. I think they can. I think they're going to get stronger as the season goes on, and I mean, they're doing it right now. I think they have 4 starting pitchers that they're using, and then every 5th they do one of those rotation days, and they're just nuts. It's crazy. It's crazy what $500 million will buy.
For real.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, for real. One name I got to throw out, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, currently with a 0.90 ERA. My goodness, he's looking really good in his second season. And yeah, Teoscar Hernandez slugging him for me in fantasy. Currently, though, on the IL with a little adductor, so about 2 weeks for Teoscar. Brad, what's your first question for Doug?
All right, going into this year, surprise teams leading, like the Cubs. Who's a team that really, is blowing you away right now, whether it be trades, young talent that has shown up that maybe not a lot of people expected to be good this year?
I think a lot of people are high on the Cubs, and they're playing pretty solid baseball. They've kind of slipped a little bit, but they're still leading the division. I look at Detroit, and I think I say that because for most of my lifetime, they have been hot garbage.
Yeah.
And they are playing good baseball. A.J. Hinch came in, and nobody wanted to touch him because of the whole Astros scandal and stuff. He can coach a baseball team. I mean, Tariq Skubal is crazy good. I like the Tigers. I know they made the playoffs last year and they made a little run. They look a lot more seasoned, and I like Detroit this year a lot. I like watching them.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question was about the Tigers. I was going to ask you, are they for real? 24-13, that's the second best record in all of baseball, best run differential in all of baseball. Like you said, Tariq Skubal, that dude's a stud. Are the
Yeah.
Tigers for real?
I think they are, especially. I mean, they're not in the strongest division by any stretch of the imagination, but they're probably going to win that division. I see them winning it. I just don't see anybody challenging them for that. And so, really, it's like, can they beat teams like the Yankees in the American League? I think they can. They can give them a run for their money for sure.
I want to see what happens there. Like you said, AJ Hinch, that's a huge pickup. Brad, what's your second question for MLB Doug?
All right, breakout player this year. Who do you think? Well, I'll go to again, not a Cubs fan. I only know because of fantasy, like Tucker, like who is a player that's really like blowing up this year that maybe, most improved player of the year type of stuff.
I think that a name that pops out to me, at least through, I mean, we're so early. I mean, the baseball season goes 11 months long. We don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to end up, but Tyler Soderstrom in Oakland for the Athletics, he's just been mashing. He was playing first base this year, and for them, and between him and Jacob Wilson, who's their shortstop, who's actually the son of Jack Wilson, those two guys I like playing. And the Athletics, again, a team outside of those Billy Bean years where he like struck a little flash in the pan. They're so fun to watch. I mean, they're just gamers, they're just grinders, and I like watching Soderstrom. I think he's doing great.
I like that. I like that call out. I was looking at him in fantasy the other day, and I didn't pull the trigger, so I'm biting that now. My last question for you, Doug. Is Mackenzie Gore, now not a popular name here, is Mackenzie Gore of the Washington Nationals an up-and-coming ace? Now, the 26-year-old, he leads all of baseball in strikeouts. He has 68 Ks in only 46 innings. He set a career high last season with 181 Ks, which was tied for 20th in baseball. But right now, leading baseball in strikeouts, Mackenzie Gore, Doug, up-and-coming ace here for the Nationals?
I think he's got to be. I mean, he's not an old guy, but he's not a young guy. He was drafted in 2017, something like that, and he's like third overall pick. So they've been looking at him for a long time, and he's a stud. Like 68 strikeouts and 41 innings. I can't remember what you said, but that's insane. His
46,
ERA, yeah. I mean, his ERA isn't like super impressive, but it's in the low threes, and he's just throwing fire. I mean, it's just he's made some adjustments, and his pitches are working right now. So we'll see. They need it because they need a guy that can go out every fifth day and get him a win and stop those slides. So yeah, that was a great call. He's doing great this year for sure. Fun to watch.
Brad, throw Doug your last baseball question for tonight.
Well, sir, I appreciate you educating us on a little baseball talk. I've actually taken baseball fantasy seriously this year, and so I'm in second place. What's up?
Hey.
And so I'm actually trying to pay more attention and everything. And so I know the story has died down since the beginning of the year. But the torpedo bats, that was a big stink. And all of a sudden, the Yankees had I forget, an insane 9 home runs in a game. I don't remember what it was. It's my theory. I'm pretty sure it's true. So, are the torpedo bats based off the shape of Shohei Ohtani's penis? Is that 100% true, or just kind of based on a true story?
I'm not going to Google that, but
yeah, I'd like to see the results.
That's a great question.
Right? There's no way they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you take a snapshot of his penis and make a bat shaped after it? It makes sense. We got to catch up with him. He's years ahead of us. So, that's where his power comes from. It's my guess. It's a lot of penis talk today. All right, guys, because there's way too many topics to cover every week in sports. We've only got so much time, and you only have so much attention span. We're going to call this Brad's Headlines with a Twist. So, I'm sure you guys heard the news came out recently. Scott Frost was hired back at UCF. I assume that comes with a contract coming with unlimited Keystone Ice. Otherwise, there's no way he signed it. There was a story that came out that Josh Jacobs was talking about his former teammate, Henry Ruggs. Remember him?
Yeah.
So apparently he's trying to stay in shape while he's in jail. Well, I guess it's good he's a wide receiver and not a tight end, right? I don't think he'd make it.
I'll be making a comeback, huh?
Yeah, someone's coming on the back. After Florida's most recent national championship in basketball last year, head coach Todd Golden was rewarded with a contract extension. Well, fellas, what do you think? His dick pics are worth more now?
Oh, one of the greasiest goons in the game. One of the
Yeah.
greasiest goons in the game. Got
Yeah.
a ring, though. Got a ring.
Yeah, he's got a ring. Yeah, and I'm sure he'll have one taken off multiple times in his life, too.
We will be curious of what your guys' thoughts are on those headlines with a twist. Please leave them in the comment section. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Right now we're on YouTube. We appreciate everybody coming out. Thank you so much for any amount of time that you spent on this episode. High Fiber Sports, the first one of the bunch. Brad, you got anything for the people?
You know what they say? When pizza's on a bagel, you can have pizza anytime.
Doug, anything you got for the people before we go home tonight?
No, it's good. Tears were shed here today, so that's a good show.
Hell of a first episode hitting the NBA, NFL, MLB. It's going to be a lot like that on these weekly episodes. Can't wait to hang out with you guys every week. Brad, put us to bed. Take us home.
Thanks for joining us, and welcome the crew. You're going to be seeing us once a week. Please like and subscribe, and let me know how messed up my brain is. I'll tell my mom.